talk from start to end. So basically, my friend needs he needs some coaching, or he wants some coaching. So he goes to get some coaching, and he's like, "This is cool." So during the coaching, he asks why a lot, right? From what I understand, because I didn't watch it. I'm only listening to the words of himself and his own chat, right? He asks why, right? Somebody says do this, and he goes, why? And when you're teaching someone anything, this goes past just fighting games. But fighting games are especially dangerous because there's ego involved. But the thing is, when you're teaching anyone anything, like art has ego involved, music has ego involved. There are lots of things with ego involved. What looks good to you may not look good to someone else. What someone else's playstyle may not be in time with your own playstyle. So it makes sense for someone to go, why? And it's usually simply as easy as explaining it to them, in my opinion, right? I'm going to pull up a specific example that everyone was able to come to an agreement on. So my friend was using multiple controller methods, right? He was using multiple controller methods, pad and stick. And he was playing multiple characters. So Buddy said stop, right? He goes, why? I'm not his coach, but that's a simple ass question, ain't it? The reason why is because you can't split your resources. You will go further if you play one character. You will go further if you familiarize yourself with one control input because your controller is your gateway into the game. So you can't let yourself be mixed up all over the place when trying to get muscle memory. There's not a game on the planet that doesn't work that way. League, Street Fighter, Smash. They're all the same. Melee, Smash Up. They're all literally the same, right? That way your actions are second nature instead of a thought, right? And that's all it took, right? That's all it would have taken. I don't know what happened, but people weren't happy about his response of him saying why, as if he's just supposed to eat up everything blindly, right? People assume that you have a certain amount of knowledge, I guess, right? Or I don't know. People assume something. I don't know what they assume. But it only makes sense to me as a teacher, right? It only makes sense to me that you would explain what's going on, right? There were a few other things, right? Oh man, let me see if I can scroll up and catch some, because I was just talking to him about it. But the point is, right, everyone in the chat's like, yo, when the teacher talks, you just gotta listen. We know nobody did that when they were younger. No one does that now, right? They're like, well, I don't want to have teach people like babies. That makes sense, right? But I feel like you gotta, when you're a teacher, right, of any kind, right, when you take the job upon yourself, right, it's up to you to make sure the student learns, so long as they can be taught. People, they look at it, any bit of resistance, they just go full diva, right? How dare you question me when I'm the one telling you how to do things? That doesn't make any sense because you see, I'm someone who taught people lots of things before, right? And I'm someone who just looks at us like, yo, I know I'm right. And because I know I'm right, I will explain it to you. I'll explain it to you 100 different ways. You will see my point of view. Because, especially with things like fighting games, right? You can, oh man, I'm gonna grind on this thing. But if someone's like, well, why should I have to play just one character? I like them all, right? Well, the thing is, you told me you wanted to win, right? You give them something that makes it impossible for them to. You make it impossible for them to disagree with you. Well, why should I have to play one character? Well, would you rather have a surgeon working on your heart that has done heart surgery for the last 15 years? Or would you want one that was a basketball player for 5 years, a heart surgeon for 5 years, and he spent 5 years in between doing nothing? Who do you want working on your heart? super ultra basic, bro. You know you want that 15 years of experience, right? That's what you want, right? It makes sense. And like it's really easy to translate that sort of stuff to people, right? Exactly. Doc going dribble on the how you go do crossovers in your chest or something. That's stupid. You wouldn't want that. So it's easy to explain stuff like that, and everything can be explained that way, right? Oh, someone like let's say they don't like to throw, right? Because throws can get teched and end your pressure, so they like to attack. But you know, the attack just gets blocked, and your pressure ends anyway, right? So how would you explain it to them, right? But again, I'm not a coach, right? But you can show them why you should go for throws sometimes. There are many reasons. The person likes to block. Throws beat that. But more importantly, throws cause the person to have to go for throw techs, which gives you another avenue to begin shimmying and opens up the game and forces them to make more guesses than block or not block, right? It makes them decide when to block. And on top of that, you will get more. Look at that. That's about as much as someone will get. Let me see. I'll set the guard off. Right? This is about as much damage as someone will get for most characters. That's 10, 10, 13. That's 23 damage. You know how much else does that much damage? Well, that's 20, right? Close enough though, right? A crouching light is 20, and they link into each other. So that's your 23 damage right there. So a throw though, on the other hand, that's worth 130. So how many times you have to hit their block to get that 130? You gotta hit the block like 10 times, bro. Right? Like you need that for the gameplay. You need all of these steps. You need to make them use all of these avenues of guessing. No one can disagree with that. No one can disagree with that. Right? If people are blocking, you can even get greedy. Like in the corner, you can get greedy and multi-grab them. A grab is worth as much as a grounded combo. Well, it's worth as much as half a grounded combo, right? And like some characters only have this much damage on their combos. So like a grab is worth almost as much damage as a combo in a lot of cases. 2 grabs is a combo. 2 grabs, 3 grabs can be a jump in. That's a jump in. 2 grabs is almost a jump in, right? Grabs, they let you cash out on all that great life you build because they want to block, right? You can cash out on all of it at once. No one can disagree with that. And I don't know, I just feel like it's up to teachers, and that's why no one plays fighting games, really. There are lots of reasons, for sure. But this is another one of the compounded efforts, right? That thought process where, and this happens in a lot of places, right? But they go, lol, I'm higher ranked than you, or I'm your coach, or I'm your teacher. You came to me for advice. And because you did, guess what? Do what I say without question, peasant. But that didn't make any sense. That's not how things are done. That's not how you treat somebody you wanted to actually learn, right? And I guess that's what the video comes down to. If anyone made it 8 minutes into the video, 9 minutes into the video, the only thing you should take away from this is for league, shooters even. You know when you want your friend to play something, the way you teach them, right? The way you make sure that he has a good time learning the game. That's how you should treat everyone, right? Treat them the way you would treat your own friend, your own son, your daughter, your wife, right? Treat them with the same kindness you would want to have, right? Because a lot of the gameplay requires military virtues. You have to do things like, if the person's not teching throws or keeps blocking, you have to throw them repeatedly, no matter how annoyed that will make them. You have to do it, right? It's your duty to make them sad in the game. If they can't anti-air, it's your duty to jump cross up repeatedly if they can't block cross ups. It's your duty. But outside of the game, you don't need those same values, man. Outside of the game is the only time you guys can be nice to each other, right? Because in game's a war zone. Alright, take that what you buy.